Thank you ISCA for inviting me here. I mean, it's not my regular audience of architects or students, but it's a privilege to be part of such a gathering. A part of our work is also to do with steel, and we have done some innovations, and that is what I'm going to showcase in the 7 minutes that I have. I have named the presentation Steel Unorthodox, which is basically another way of looking at steel. Some of our projects will show this. A tribute to my father. He was a structural engineer with us for 25 long years, and recently he passed away. But much of the work that you are going to see, he is the man behind working out all the solutions. So this was after I had actually said yes to the presentation just few days back. So we have about 7 projects, 1 a minute. I think let's quickly get on with the presentation. This was a simple structure that we had to do, and the client wanted a small outhouse which is completely open to nature. And one strange idea came to us that let's make a structure which has got no walls, no columns, almost. So if you see here, this was the construction of the slab that is cast, and this is cast in mid-air. This was a solution that we worked out. This is the only solution. So there are no supports except for the scaffolding. So we started with the slab because this was the bottom member of the space frame that was going to come. So it is the bottom member is in steel, concrete, and the top member was to be in steel. So the slab was cast in mid-air, and then the steel structure was installed over it, coming down to the foundations. So that's the net house, which has got very fine structure of steel on the periphery, which is basically like they are hidden inside the mullions of the windows, and the entire house is made out of, it's covered in net so that it is free of insects, etc., and completely open to nature. One element in the staircase, is a staircase which brings the entire terrace water down. So actually it's a pipe. If you see, it's a pipe that starts here, goes down, and then it goes up again and becomes a fountain before finally going out into the tank. Now if we talk about ecology, we talk about water retention, etc. This little house has 14 lakh liters of rainwater tank underneath. 14 lakh liters, that is the amount of water that we collect through this. So an interesting idea came that we can actually climb onto the pipe, and it became a staircase which is in stainless steel. So another element, the outside is in GI, and you see during the rains this becomes a fountain, the center of it is also the support for the staircase, and it is also an element of delight that you can see the water actually bubbling through here whenever there is a collection. So we are making a spectacle out of this collection. Also it's a huge amount that we are collecting. So that was the first project. We do some automobile tinkering. So that's another way of looking at steel, because mostly all the works are in steel. Aluminum is very difficult to work with. So that's the bike that we have modified. So this has been completely modified. So there is the work of tinkering, and also there is structural modifications that has been carried out, making it a completely new product. The one you see at the back is also in steel. That is also another product. They were made for a movie called OK Computers. So they wanted these futuristic and very rustic kind of vehicles for the movie. Yeah, so that's the vehicle. So even the pipes, etc. So there are different kinds of steel that we use for all these works. And the workshop where it was done, it's in Mirzapur, and the person who is behind it, a lot of work was done by Abdul Wahid. So they are very local kind of a system, but it gives you a product which is quite something. This was featured in magazine from UK, Wallpaper, the first version. So there was a full page photo of the workshop. This was the earlier version of the same motorcycle. We come to Guyhead Kredai. This was another building that is in Ahmedabad. I think most of you might be aware, where the clients desired that the building should open out to the public during events. So we literally took that and we made a building which can, I think this should also run. So that's the building facade, and during public events you will see that the gates are sliding and the building is completely opening out. So these are large walls in steel, covered with corrugated steel on both the sides, and you can easily push them with people. One person can push the walls away and you can open the entire building out. So it becomes an open building, and during office, when the events are not on, it's an office building. Another part of it, I think it should work also. So you will see that it is almost about 12 meters high structure, which is operational by a human being. He is just moving a simple lever with a counterweight mechanism. So all these kind of additions in a building which can adjust to the climate and sun, etc., we are able to do with these kind of moving structures. That's the internal structure of it, a very simple structure. There is nothing, no rocket science, and we have made it all movable. So they are sliding, and they are also pivoting, and they are also hinged. There are 2-3 kinds of walls here. We come to another project of ours, which is in Ranthambore Bagh. It is it's misspelled. So this was a person. He is an activist there. Plus he runs a company and a hotel, and he wanted a small house. And at that time, on the site, he could build only a certain amount. He could not build. The rules didn't allow him to build entirely. So we asked him if a porch is allowed. So he said, yeah, there is no rule for a porch. You can make a porch as long as it has no supports. You can make it as large as you want. So we took that as a clue, and we ended up doing a porch like this, and almost the entire house is on the porch. It's a cantilever about 16 meters from the stone walls. Yeah, there is a video of that last one. Okay. Not only on one side, we also project it out onto the other side. So both the sides there is, leaving just a service core in the middle, which is also the support for the cantilever. This is in PEB. We look at PEB as a solution. We see PEB as an aesthetic. You can actually showcase PEB and make an element out of it instead of trying to cover it all up. So that's like a bridge, which is a Verandil truss basically, and you will not believe, but these are all stone putties on both the floors. So it is not a lightweight floor, it is stone putties with a Kota stone flooring on top. So it's hardcore stone and steel that has been put here. That's the section. You can have a look, the cantilever on both the sides. We are calling another project here, which is in Ahmedabad, Gando Barno. It is basically the English translation is a door gone mad. So it's a door for a house about 5 meters in height, and it's divided into 7 panels. And when you open them, they all pivot, not concentrically. They don't pivot at the same point, they pivot at different angles. So making it a very extremely complex mathematical thing to work out. and it becomes finally it becomes an indeterminate structure, because you cannot predict how the door will open. So it is good as a sculpture, you can keep it in the garden and you can have it moving, but to have it within the walls, to lock itself close completely in a house was a big challenge. So this entire detailing was done in house. We do the entire mechanism which is hidden inside the door is all worked out, all in steel. This is the workshop where it was made, out in the open, because the workshop height was lower than the height of the door. So we had to do it out in the open, all the experimentation. And you see the models that are made, first model, second model, third model, and then finally the door itself. Another project, quickly, this was 20 years back, and we had won a competition for a fuel outlet by ONGC. They wanted to also come out in retail, and we won the competition, but Subir Raha, who was the chairman, he said, though we like it so much, but we don't think it can be built. So we said, of course it can be built, it is technology of today, there is nothing new. So he said, okay, build one and show. And we took that as a challenge. We never do turnkey projects, but this was a time, because he said, or we will go to some other architect, you have to show it. I'll give you 2 months, and money is not an issue, it's a prototype, but just build one for me. So we did it in 2 months, exactly 58 days it was inaugurated in Mangalore, with no experience of taking turnkey projects beforehand. So this entire building was done in stainless steel. Being on the coast, we had the entire structure, entire cladding, everything in stainless steel. So that's the building that was done 58 days. And you will see that everything has been designed, all structural members are in, all the trusses, if you see. And it had a fabric roof on top, which was very new at that time in India. Now it is commonplace, and especially for a fuel outlet. So we had to take special permissions from Nagpur, the fire department, and they allowed us to use a fabric roof on this. The last project, which is our own office in Ahmedabad, and it's completely clad in steel. Walk towards me. And controlling the light and the sun, which is balanced on counterweight. So the user will slide up first, walk towards me, and then we have 2 actions within the same thing. So this, what it does is it keeps the entire envelope. You will see the entire envelope remains absolutely shaded from the sun, so the building doesn't get heated up at all. This was it was given the second prize for its ecological features or energy saving features from Geneva. It's called the Prix de Geneva, and in 2021 we were the runners up for that. So we have a pool inside, and this is how the system works. You can see it maybe once again. So you will see that it slides up and the counterweight goes down, and then it opens, becoming a canopy, and in the night it becomes the grill for the project. That's the other side, which has got fixed louvers on the north side, because the sun is not varying here. So it is completely shaded, and we have a swimming pool which gives the name pool to our office. Yeah, thank you so much.